So a very warm welcome to you all. And we have with us Sanjay Singal, who is the COO for Dairy and Beverage Business at ITC. Since ITC has been into an integrated play, and we see a lot of activity from ITC also, and you have been into procurement, you are into processing, and also now looking at the last mile connect. You have that, but now into dairy also going strongly into different products. So, sir, how do you see the current situation of inflation in Indian dairy, and your thoughts on how, like, if I look at 2021 or past, and going into future, you see the impact of price increase on the dairy industry? Sanjay.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Shiva, and thanks for inviting from ITC. It is always a pleasure to meet dairy people, and that is a great thing. So, see, as you mentioned that while ITC Chopal and ITC's presence in rural India has been there for many years, and we have a very large farmer or milk animal development program that is run across the India. The front end of that, which is taking our iconic brand Ashirwad into fresh dairy business, has only started 4 years back from in one city, which is where Mr. Dr. Rajeshwaran is sitting, which is Patna, and in Bengal. So to that extent, we are a very, very new entrants into the fresh dairy space. Though we are amongst the top 2 or 3 packaged food suppliers in the country. So I think the way I looked at it, the last year, obviously, Shiva, you have kindly absolutely summed up how the year went last year. Of course, the year went very well for dairies because the value-added part of the dairy category, be it lassi or be it other products, they really grew over the previous lockdown period. So I think a lot of us got that benefit of the base effect of value added, and hence beyond the 10% जो आप बता रहे थे top line growth, there's also been a good growth in margins, led by benevolent tailwinds in raw material prices that continued into the last year, which have continued in the current year, and also by the benevolent consumer demand on categories like curd or cheese or other categories. However, I mean, we all know that Indian dairy industry is cyclical because of the relative, protected nature of our industry versus the global headwinds of equalizing measures. So to that extent, I mean, obviously, the tide is turning, the cycle is turning. And I think given, as you have said, the last 2-3 weeks, S&P of butter data and the price increases we have seen at the farm gate and even in consumer prices. So for example, in Bihar today, I think a pouch milk 1 liter toned will be almost the most expensive in the country today. And mind you, that's the lowest per capita income state in the country probably. So the tide is turning, the tide has turned, and obviously it promises to my mind to be one of the most inflationary periods, right? Next 2-3 years for dairy. And obviously, this is going to be very difficult. But however, if I contextualize that to give your audience a measure of what is happening in the larger food space. See, our other businesses like noodles or snacks or biscuits, they have had huge price inflation because you know that palm oil has run through and continues to run through. Sugar is expensive, packaging is expensive, freight is expensive. I think to that extent, there's a certain resilience in the Indian farmer because it is so inherently linked to the farmer's income. Dairy is the largest source of income for a farmer, right? So, and I think that the fact that India is a large consumption market, I think that this industry is done much, much better in terms of top line and definitely in terms of margins than practically every other food industry or personal care industry. So while we can say that we are entering a period 2 years, 3 years, who knows, of inflation in dairy, I think that the way this industry has managed itself gives me a lot of confidence that we will come out winners. And when I say winners, I'm being very careful because I don't think in dairy industry I have learned from stalwarts. I'm not a dairy person. Winning is not about making better contribution margin or better margin for your company. Winning is about carrying the entire ecosystem, including the farmer and your partners together. So that is what winning I have learned from dairy people is, and I'm confident that we will carry everybody and we will continue winning as India moves forward.
Sanjay, I think you gave a good comparison also because you are dealing in different other products apart from dairy. So thanks for that insight. I think that was really helpful to understand how, as a food company, you are looking at dairy and other non-dairy food sectors also. I think that's a good starting point. Different constituents like packaging and transportation. So maybe your views in terms of how you see as a food processing company the impact of these factors, and do you see role of alternatives also, like if we think of packaging, then recycled packaging comes into my mind, and I've seen a lot of news globally now. The demand for recycled packaging has shot up right now because the virgin packaging prices actually are going through the roof. So what's your view on how you see as a food company in terms of managing these factors besides the feed side?
See, I feel really pain, okay, as a marketeer, that today we are in a situation in this country where the farm gate price of milk in many states is equal to the farm gate price in New Zealand or Europe. And the consumer price of a liter of milk, irrespective of packing side by chodo, is equal to the price of milk in a developed country, which basically means that we are doing something wrong, as Dr. Saab said, in the milk supply chain, that an urban driver or an urban maid cannot afford to give a glass of milk to his or her children. And Dr. Saab talked about the inelasticity or elasticity. And after that, the farmer is stuck with the same income of 2,000-3,000 rupees from milk. So that is a dilemma. Dr. Saab talked about the price is going up every year. Farmer income is not going up. So the question is that where is the benefit of efficiency? So the benefits of efficiency are not being recovered. Number two, Dr. Saab, to add to Dr. Saab's point, the Indian dairy industry is amongst the lowest PBIT percentage industry in this country, even among FMCG. You forget about IT, etc. So inherently, there is something structurally wrong. This industry is structured, like neither is the grower making money, neither is the manufacturer making money, and you are selling the most expensive milk to the consumer, and neither. So what is wrong with the industry? I think that is what Dr. Sahab's analysis of paper has raised to us. And hence, I feel that while it is a very noble initiative to talk about sustainability, and ITC has done a lot of work on sustainability, we are known for sustainability across. But see, I'm saying that for the dairy consumer and the dairy farmer, I think the biggest thing is to really crack the level of returns that each constituent are making. Our milk pouches are 100% recycling. So to my mind, I mean, yes, there are solutions which are available and we are doing some of them. But to my mind, is this the number 2, 3, or even 5 priority for the industry right now? Looking at the point Dr. Saab made and I was making, that actually, I mean, while we may be happy here, we are the largest growers of milk. The fact is that neither can my maid or driver afford a cup of milk for his daughter, neither can the farmer make money. I think there are larger battles to fight right now, Shiva, as I must.
Yeah, understood. I think still we are into an evolving stage. When we talk about informal to formal, market is still very informal. So there is bound to be this kind of disproportionate, I will say, imbalance which is happening. So point is taken, yes, but I think it will take its own time in terms of how we can become more efficient across the value chain. One question from our friend Tanveer Alam. Thanks, Tanveer. He is saying that you have created a market for potato from 36 rupees kg to potato chips worth 360 rupees per kg. So what kind of challenges you are seeing right now in replicating the same strategy in the dairy product side?
So basically, I guess consumer pays a price for the value he or she gets. And the value is basically MRP divided by the benefit. So, for example, I will give you one example. I mean, ultimately, a pouch of milk is a milk. Now, it's how you give you give a superior product and how you also communicate the value proposition to the consumer And Gyan, I know Gyan Dairy has done some very good work on that also. But one example of something we've done in Calcutta in a small way, and please keep in mind, हमारे सब 40 साल हुए हैं डेयरी में, is that we said that one of the biggest problems in dairy industry or milk in India right now is that the consumer thinks कि चाहे दूध कैसा भी हो, दूध में मिलावट है, उसमें पानी मिला हुआ है, उसमें कुछ मिला हुआ है. That is every consumer's problem. So we actually in Calcutta have a variety of milk we are launching, where basically with every pack you get a code which is unique to that pack, and that code can be scanned at 6 o'clock in the morning by the consumer, and the consumer can download through WhatsApp or whatever email or web a report card, a quality report card of that pack. And through that, we are able to give good quality milk and also charge us rupees 2 rupees premium per liter to the consumer. But we know in this category, 2 rupees means much a significant margin. So I think that we do not want to charge a superlative premium to the consumer, because I also understand that milk is expensive in India. We want to give a good product, but we don't want to create an inflationary environment in the Indian milk space. I don't think that will be good for anybody.
Okay, another question linked to that, audience question from Rajiv Bhanawat. So basically, it's more about looking at this market segment. And again, we are talking, I think, more on value side where inflation price may not matter much. So do you see more such kind of corporates like ITC, whether they are non-dairy in India or global companies coming in India? Do you see more of that kind of play in future, playing in particularly in this kind of segment?
Well, a lot of them are already there, right? A lot of them are already there. I think the critical challenge for a corporate like ITC or a company from outside India is that milk pools are damn difficult to create in India. And that has been the bane, as you all know, in terms of a lot of MNCs trying to enter India. So I think that, yes, companies get very excited about a huge Indian 5 lakh crore, 6 lakh crore market. By far, if I look at even from ITC, our largest brand is Ashirwad Atta, but even or our Sunfeast biscuit. But they are operating in categories which are 1/10 of the Indian dairy industry. So while it is very exciting and enticing, but often when the rubber hits the road, we discover that it takes years of work to get the milk pools to do even 100 crores of business. So I think that is where the core challenge is. Yes, there will be people coming. We've always seen people coming, acquiring, and people are acquiring, as you know, across India for milk pool creation, and that we have seen happening. So that will happen. But I think that the great thing about this industry is that दूध सब पीते हैं. As Amul का जो headline है, Amul दूध पीता है India. So basically दूध सब पीते हैं. तो इस इंडस्ट्री में ये ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है, given the size, इस इंडस्ट्री में छोटा बड़े सब प्लेयर रहेंगे. और I think in the future छोटा फार्म भी रहेगा, बड़ा फार्म भी रहेगा. I think that this industry will be an evergreen industry going forward.
Thanks, Sanjay. I agree with your statement. I think potentially huge that way. And we have been talking about shift from informal to formal markets. Clearly, more and more such kind of activity, I think, will lead to much more, you can say, professionalism in the industry, much more supply chain, you can say, organization, strengthening of the linkages in the value chain. So the last is more about the outlook. I think we touched upon that in between, but we are looking at a situation where, like initially, Sanjay mentioned about the inflation continuing for coming years. So it's basically now we are looking at summary in terms of understanding how you see the outlook for dairy industry in India going forward, whether you look at from demand side or even supply sources, maybe from feed side or from dairy side, like Sanjay talked about different other perspectives. And also in terms of understanding how this will help support dairy farmers going forward, whether there is a need to find technological solutions, like there are a few startups who are doing some work at farm level, whether you are doing that thing on their own, or you are looking to collaborate with this kind of people at that value chain part in terms of value chain partner. So what is your thought in terms of looking at coming years as an industry player, how this industry will pan out, and the inflation, how it will impact? So Sanjay, I will start with you on this.
Okay, so thanks. So it is interesting you ask, because we just start closing out our plan for dairy and other business of ITC for the next 5 years. So if I look at that, I mean, one thing is clear that while it may be an inflationary year, it's an inflationary year in terms of milk and in terms of petrol or fuel, but the inflation is going to hit this industry lesser than many other categories. To that extent, this category, as I was saying earlier, is, let us say, suitably insulated. However, I think the other part which will play out in the coming year is that we will see a very good summer. The dairy industry has had two bad summers, and the ice cream guys, as you know, have had very, very bad summers. So I think to a certain extent, while milk prices are going up, farm gate prices, there is a contraction. There will be a contraction in the margins of manufacturers in pouch milk. I think they will regain and gain a lot in terms of value-added top lines, and hence they will be able to manage their margins in the coming year, at least. Looking at technology now, so I see that it will be another good year for dairy companies. You may not get fantastic bottom line growth. You certainly continue to get good top line growth because of value-added growth. Now looking at technology, yes, we also as a small player adopting technology in milk procurement, in even direct credit to the farmers, direct cash credit to their accounts. In terms of our own milk sales, we still don't have an app for customers, and we have a way to go there. But certainly we want to use technology, but we don't think that D2C is currently a scale opportunity in the geographies we are. We are not in urban geographies right now, so we don't see that as an opportunity. But we do see D2C technology as a fantastic efficiency driver in terms of driving a driver to service our farmers, in terms of transparency of rates and payments, and also in terms of let's say driving efficiency of freight, driving efficiency of distribution, etc. So basically, if I sum it up, I think that while it's an inflationary year, given that the basis of value-added products for everyday dairy was so low in the last 2 years, I think this year we will manage an industry. I think the challenge will be when inflation continues the next year. Then I think the game may be very, very difficult for some.
Thanks, Sanjay. I think that will remain a challenge. Maybe not immediate, but maybe going forward, yes. Thanks a lot for wonderful insights during the session. I think it's always good to get different perspectives on, particularly if you look at dairy industry in India and right now in the context of inflation. And with this, I close the session and look forward to be in touch with you all going forward. Thank you.